Hello and good evening, friends. Tonight we continue Divine Beasts. We'll begin momentarily, but first I want to check in. How's everybody doing tonight?
Spectacular.
I I feel like Kim, you're probably doing a little bit better now that Oriko is out of that dungeon. Slightly. Markoth is just a thing of the past now. Maybe. Your notes are
For
wise.
anyone wondering what's going on, we have replaced Brandon with a robot for this evening's stream. We think it's going to go much better than Brandon. So,
Yes, and actually, the one in charge of playing is actually going to be a robot that I've constructed. It's called the Little Bee Bot. It'll say things like beep boop, why don't you marry me, senpai? Beep boop boop, beep boop, choke slam me, beep beep beep, sock it to me. You know. Thank you very. And by the way, now that I'm on chat, thank you, Katie and Rem, for continuing to stay subscribed and support the channel. And thank you very much as well, Kim, for subscribing and continuing to support the channel. And Chelsea and Katie, thank you very much for the bits right there. Joe, dude, thank you very much for the 1,000 bits. I appreciate it very much, everybody. Thank you guys for continuing to support the channel. I know it's actually been a little hectic lately because I haven't really streamed in a week, which is very unusual for me. In fact, literally, I was just checking today, and I was like, "Holy fuck, I haven't streamed since Thicker Than Wine." That's, but Katie and I had been visiting some family from Denmark, so that's kind of been winding down a little bit. I'm probably going to do a
they
little
came to
bonus
us.
stream.
We didn't go to Denmark, just
Yeah,
for the record.
yeah, they came to us. It's been a really amazing week. In fact, Kim and Joe, I think it's probably one of the most fun weeks I've had since you guys were here.
Mm,
Because it's just, I love
for
showing people
sure.
this area and like seeing it through like those fresh eyes.
Absolutely.
But again, truly, thank you everybody for continuing to support the channel. It really, really means a lot that I can continue doing this and trying to ever improve things here. Speaking of improvements, before we begin tonight, I have to give a special call out to our very own D-Dad here in chat. Kim has made a fantastic new logo for Divine Beast. I am obsessed with it. It is incredible,
Good.
and I believe she's open for commissions if people are looking for a little work to be done. Absolutely. And I'm totally not just trying to kill time until Brandon gets back because I know he's running late. Although I do want to make another special announcement. I did not get to do a stream anniversary in July because life got very hectic. Planning for the cruise, which I'll be gone next week on actually 4 days. It's not a hope or a dream. It's real, happening. But I'm really excited for that. But I realized I've never really had a chance to do a good marathon stream, so I'm going to be doing that on Monday. I'm going to be dragging my sorry butt out of bed around 6 in the morning, and I'm going to start playing a game. Don't know what it's going to be yet. It kind of depends when I can get working. I'm kind of feeling like doing a Castlevania marathon run, where I do Rondo of Blood straight into Symphony of the Night, straight into Richter mode, or I might do Nick Quest if I can't get that working. I'll see what that looks like. Thank you for the 100 bits, Katie Liddy. I appreciate that very much.
Gotta get that next level of the hype train, obviously.
Well, I appreciate that. Gosh, it's been really weird not streaming for a week. Well, tell you what. If everybody's feeling good and settled in, I'll start on a really slow recap to buy us more time until Schmidt is back. All right. Really, as I recall, last time I think you guys were already out of the halls of Markoth, right? Like we were.
Yeah.
I know we missed last session, so I'm like trying to catch up from a month ago. Um, so you guys had escaped from the halls of Markoth, and you once again found yourselves out in the Beyonds. No, that's right. Last time you guys had fought against Markoth. That's what it was. Yes, you were drawn, powering through terrifying illusions. You mustered through and you confronted Markoth. Well, hot damn, Kim, thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. You guys are amazing. Thank you both of you. But through perseverance, teamwork, and sheer willpower, you made it through the illusions cast by this dark agent of chaos. And through a relatively quick skirmish, you defeated him, only to find that Markoth... Oh no.
Bless you.
I'm allergic to recaps. Oh boy. But as the stone mask toppled onto the floor, you learned that it was not so much Markoth itself that you were fighting. Well, it was Markoth, but it was also the body of Estevan Hylas, now lifeless after the encounter that you had. I'm gonna have to power through this because, like, once the allergy starts, it doesn't stop. This is my life for the next 3 hours. Now, Orica, once again, that disembodied voice of Markoth had spoken to you, trying to lure you and tempt you with power one more time, but you refused it. Venturing once more into the beyond with your companions. It was there that Costin had reached out, communicated, once again able to feel the divine presence of the god Darugo and Avatar Riala along with it. And now able to sense each other once more, Riala was having Darugo fly over to your location so that you could once again be within the safety of the walls of Darugo's reach. However, the amount of time that would take was unknown to all of you. With a storm settling in on the distant horizon, you all went into the forest to see about making some safe camp, thankfully completely dry through the quick thinking and magical talents of Shael. Unexpected, as the last day has been for all of you, the surprises only continued. As much to your shock, in that forest were Hypogeans. And you saw as you kind of split up a couple groups of them, tensions began running high. But perhaps the most shocking thing of all is that they did not attack you. You parted ways amicably, made camp for the night, and I wrote, finally gave them a long rest, you fucking asshole.
Right, though?
Is there a lie in there? No. But the next day, you met again with the three of them. There was oh my goodness, well, Katie lady, thank you so much for the gifted subs coming in clutch. Goodness gracious, thank you so much. Katie's making it rain, just subs. Thank you very, very much, babe.
I just got my annual raise, so I'm like...
So we're like transferring money in bank accounts right now. But I appreciate it very much, thank you. There were three of them, presumably a father, a mother, and a very, very irritable teenage child who had taken a few of your things and they brought them back to return everything and kind of make things square. But they also had what appeared to be an Empyrean gem of comprehend language. And for the first time in all of your lived experience in this world, you got a chance through Costin to communicate with Hypogeans. And right where we had left off, the father, Kunda, had mentioned something that sent your minds reeling as Costin translated. But there were some of them, Hyposians living out in the beyonds that chose to live in peace. They held no interest in attacking cities and harming anybody. That only some of them were afflicted by something, some condition that they referred to as the spark. And it was in that moment that we had finished the last session, as I'm going to continue rambling on until I see Brandon in that screen right there, because I don't want to roleplay talking to myself. I truly try to avoid that, and that's something that I recognize I'm very predictable with in my storytelling. And like, I'll have multiple people, but they're both talking to the party. What can I say? I feel like it's not my show, it's your guys' show. But, tell you what, if Pushka does come to shove, I can, hot damn, hilarious! Thank you so much for that, my friend.
Wow, he had to show me up there.
Now that we got a few people here in chat, let me do a few quick shout-outs while we're waiting for Brandon to get back anyway. So, Hilarious Game Master, also known in many circles as Hilarious Motherfucking Game Master, is a wonderful, talented, and experienced storyteller, DM, GM, whatever your flavor is. He's probably played and ran it. But most importantly, he has made his own tabletop system, Legends of Kralis, which is going to be launching again next year, so keep an eye out for that. And it's a really cool system, very flexible, uses a D100 system, and you'll get a certain number of successes that can dictate and help kind of guide the story along, rather than a simple pass or fail system.
Tell me about your characters in this game. In Divine Beasts or in what?
But check him out, friends. And also, my friend Joe here, Master Destroyer, is another streamer here on Twitch. He does variety game streams, including a whole lot of kicking ass at Halo, and he plays a lot of different tabletop games. So if those are your jam, my friends, check him out.
Apparently he's pretty badass at a pool table, too.
Yeah. Hey, Rich! Full team inspo, note that down. Rich is making it rain. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. And thank you again, Hilarious, for continuing to support the channel. And hell, man, just for being here. It's always great to see you, man. But yes, tell you what, while we're waiting for Schmidt to return, let's take a moment and maybe talk about your characters a little bit if you'd like to introduce to anybody that is new here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and also, like, we didn't start this stream, or start streaming this game until a few sessions in. So we could get into a little bit more about how the party came together, too. Since a lot of people missed out. So, it started with, like, a street festival, right? Like Cholis?
Yes, so there was a festival in Darugo's Reach. And a little bit of background, basically, and I'll keep this brief because I want it to be about you guys. The world itself is pretty much wiped out. There are beings called Hyposians that overran most of civilization. There are 4 beast gods that are both worshipped and lived upon. Darugo, a giant bird in the sky. There's Basalk, a great ray in the sea. Ifro, the serpent of the volcano. And Visha, the great tortoise of the plains, who are worshipped as gods, and people also physically live on them. Their divine energy driving back the Hyposian threat and keeping people safe. Each one has an avatar, and it was Avatar Riala's birthday in Darugo's Reach, and there was a festival. Take it over.
Oh my god, there he is. Sorry, everybody. Nobody gets to know anything now.
No. Nothing. I ruin everything.
Finally back. We were waiting for you, so to fill the silence, we were just about to tell people how the party came together, since we didn't start streaming this game until a few sessions in. And we were going over that it was the street festival for Riala's birthday, and Shael was out with her 2 homies, Karina and Amara.
Whoa.
And they the three of them ran into Costin, and because Costin's family is so loaded, and they do a lot of charity work, Shael had met his sister through some fundraising stuff that she's done.
Sweet.
So they had that like recognition of each other, and then I think Karina and Amara like glom onto you and then be like, oh my god! And,
Yeah,
like...
they dragged me away for like half the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good times.
That was pretty awesome. No, but this is truly, honestly, even just giving that single example right there, this is a hallmark of what an incredible group of players I have, because each of them talked about their characters and started tying things in their backstories to each other. Like, I basically gave them a choice of like, hey, where do you want to start this game? And they chose one of the cities. They all ran with it from there. And they all just have these characters that work incredibly well and have pieces of their backstory that go together. They have a whole web, and I did nothing. So really, truly, kudos to this amazing group of individuals here.
I just hear a bunch of lies right now.
Speak for yourself, maybe. No.
Big, thick truths. Like, massive truths.
So thick.
All right. Well, I guess since we've got Costin here, are we ready to go?
Nope.
Yes.
Oh no! If you need a couple more minutes to just kind of settle in, we can continue with the intro.
Go ahead. You guys can finish up. That's fine. Don't bother me none. Whatever you're doing. I'm here though, so.
Maybe, I don't know, let's ask the audience. Should we keep on with the intro, or should we hop into the session and save the rest of the stuff until next time that Brandon's late?
Yep. It happens all the time. You guys will get all the backstory.
All right. Well, I think with that, we're okay. We have one vote for Orico and Tor. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do our intros.
Oh, dang! That explains everything.
However, Torin is
Torin
Costin's
his
dad.
only begotten son. No.
Oh no! Oh no! He likes to play daddy. He knows he's That's right.
Torin is very much in the honorary, he might be your father, but he ain't your daddy club. Torin, you remind me of Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins? Is he cool? Yes, Torin, he's cool. Hell yeah, he's cool.
Poppins,
So
y'all.
cool.
Poppins, y'all!
Yeah, Master Chef.
What about
It's true.
Orico? Hypogeans. Orico's very thick.
Tall is Orico.
Hella tall.
I think like 7 or 8 feet, right? Because you're a Goliath. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
She's
big.
fucking tall. She's like rich.
Quick question. Can you guys hear my fan? Like, is it making interference?
Nope.
No?
No.
Okay, good.
You're,
Good.
you're
good,
solid.
good. Perfect.
Well, you know what? We've done everybody else. Let's do Costin.
Alright, so what do you want? Just like an intro to Costin?
Brief little
It's
intro.
basically like how the party came together too. We've
So-
covered that it was all at the festival, but not
Yeah,
why you
essentially.
were there.
Yeah, so Costin's family is one of the bigger noble families in Darugo's Reach. His father is on the council, and his brother Adeline is essentially being raised by his father to be next in line to take over when he eventually steps down. And because of that, Costin, being the second son, was kind of left to his own devices. Even as a kid, Adeline being several years older, being groomed from a young age, Costin kind of just got to be a kid, right? And so, growing up, he read all these stories about heroes and people doing great things. And so, as he got older, he kind of inserted himself into this role to where that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be one of those people that could go out and be the protector. And because his family had money, he was going to make use of that, right? He was going to be just this person that used all of those benefits to his advantage and go to school and just be the best he could be. And so that's essentially what he did. And he went to, what was the academy? Sky Academy? Or no,
Sapphire Skies Academy.
Sapphire Sky Academies, and then graduated from there to move on. And before being accepted into to be a cadet for the Scouts, this whole fiasco happened where the party got together at the festival and ultimately put them on the journey that they're in now.
All right. And speaking of the journey now, would you like a recap as well to remind? I know that it's been a month since we've played Schmidt. Are you feeling like you remember okay, or would you like a quick?
I remember. You don't have to do a recap for me.
Excellent. So then, let us resume from where we left off at the last session.
Sweet.
It's still early morning. The dew budding upon the fresh green grass, and the crisp spring air filling the verdant forest that you find yourselves in, now in the Beyonds. It's a peaceful, calming sight, which rather matches the conversation you've had. An unexpected turn of events to have found Hypogeans, the very creatures you've been taught, almost from childhood, to fear. The very creatures who, time and time again, have injured or even killed those around Darugo's Reach. Monsters, they say. But it's not as though you went blindly with that information, no. No, your own experiences have taught you they're fearsome creatures, something to be feared. So how odd it was that on this peaceful morning in late spring, you find yourselves at a campsite, breaking bread and speaking with some of them. Rather, Costin, through use of this strange spell you'd never known, conjured through an Empyrean gem, a relic of a lost age. Fitting, almost. Given that something from a world long gone allows you to speak the very thing you've always been taught was responsible for taking that world, for ending that age. You continue along with Kunda. He leans forward as he just kind of finished saying, "Yes, 'tis the spark that drives many to madness. An affliction that grips many of my kind, but not all. Pray it never affects any who have traveled with us in our village, nor my kin." He kind of turns and gives a gaze over to Dela, who just kind of gives a sad smile at him, and O'Byrne, who's at this point standing several feet away, leaning against a tree, just kind of rolls his eyes a bit at that remark.
Dang kids.
Know you of any of this? I know not what uplanders realize about our kind. 'Tis a rare occasion indeed that we may exchange words. Nay, usually the only thing exchanged is steel and bloodshed when our kind meet.
It's true. The people where I come from, in Taruko's Reach, all of us are taught and raised to fear Hypogeans. That you're all dangerous, crazed monsters. And not to be too insensitive, but up until now, all of our encounters have been just that. Encounters with monsters. Due to this spark, or whatever this strange phenomenon is that afflicts your people. Every encounter with them has been one of bloodshed and misery. It's still hard to believe that we're having a civil conversation right now.
Dela kind of looks up to you, and there's a light of sadness in her eyes. Many we've known, lost to the spark. The affliction, it takes those others. We know not when. Not the day, not the hour, but it comes for some. Not even who. Fathers and some, brothers or sisters. At times, a whole generation taken. Others, none at all. We still understand so little, though it's plagued us for so long. And Kunda nods with a look of grave concern. She speaks the truth. Were it only that we could guess, find some means to figure who will be taken by it. Find some way to curb it, to stop it. Alas, helpless we've been, wandering for what feels like an eternity, he says, with a deep sigh. Dela reaches down, placing an almost supportive hand on his shoulder. He clasps it. Even my family We've wandered the surface here. It's all we've known. Stories shared over generations. A little more than that, I fear. Just stories. And we can assume as well, too, that during all of this, that there are gaps in the conversation where, Costin, you can fill everybody in. That way anybody may pose questions and be filled in as you go.
I was actually just going to do that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so Costin will, as the conversation breaks for a moment, Costin will just kind of turn to the group and sort of relay that information, kind of shorthand, that there's some strange spark that afflicts the Hyposians, and it seems random to them, and they just don't have any more understanding than about what this affliction is than we would. So
I might have done this last session, but I don't remember. Can I do like an Arcana check to see if I can think of any magic afflictions that might cause such a thing?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
15.
You're well versed in magical afflictions. Curses. It sounds like something that might be.
Okay.
Nothing like this. And the thing that lingers in your mind, you're thinking for a while, really trying to focus different books you might have read, studies you've done. By all means, you're well versed. Incredibly so, even. And you remember something that Dr. Welks had said. It's in the blood. But also, given the nature of what's being described to you, perhaps that's a catalyst or simply a channel for this affliction to run its course.
I don't have any concrete answers, so she'll probably just keep it to herself. She's pondering.
That's essentially it. They have no idea. He stated simply that it seems completely random and it can affect any one of them at any time without notice.
And he looks up because as this spell was cast on him, he kind of listens to all of you as you're speaking. And he looks like it's pretty clear that he begins speaking to Oriko and realizes that he needs to kind of glances back over to Costin.
Yes.
It is true that it does strike at random. However, it is not an instant process. At times faster, at times slower, but it's not an instant transformation. I've seen some taken in days, some... He looks like with this really broken expression. And you can see an almost 1,000-yard stare in Dela's eyes for a moment. Some... It takes weeks.
If you don't mind me asking, then, judging by your expressions, I'm assuming once the affliction takes hold that it's somehow painful by chance, or ugly, something along those lines.
Yeah, what do you think it is? You kind of hear the sort of chiding remark of Robert leaning against the tree. What, it's some kind of trip to heaven or something like that? Gives kind of another scoff and roll of his eyes.
No, I didn't mean that. I don't know anything about how it works. We've never seen this affliction affect one of your people before, going from who you are now to what you eventually become after it takes hold. We know nothing about it.
At that, he kind of like starts to storm off a little bit. He says, "This whole thing's stupid anyway. Why are we bothering to speak to them? I mean, what? Maybe these ones get along with us and then more come down? Huh? How many are gonna come? How many of us have to die just because they don't want to understand anything?"
Actually, the kid has a point. Durugo is on its way, and the entire city is moving to retrieve us. And I don't know how long they'll be, but they are on their way here. I don't want to put you in harm's way.
Perhaps it might be best for us to part ways ere long. However, and he kind of like turns back to his son for a moment, as Kuna gives him a level stare. It is only through conversation and understanding that we might move forward. The cycle of bloodshed has to end somewhere. And the kid just sneers at that and storms off. And you see Kunda kind of gets, he gets that sort of dad puff up presentation, and Dale like, "Oh, stop, give him some time. We all need time to adjust, you know that." You're right. She often is.
So, before we part ways, can I infer that I suppose you wouldn't spend much time with someone after the spark has taken them, but if someone with the spark were to have offspring, would it affect them as well after they're infected, or?
He gives a long, thoughtful pause at that, and looks back to Dale for a moment. It does more often affect those of a like bloodline when the spark does take hold. At times some may be skipped generations even, but upon taking its hold, I've often seen it stick within a family more often. Though there is one who might be able to tell you more than either of us could.
Truly.
He looks down. That's right, we were out here to meet him, weren't we? I, before the young one, went and ran off, but there's others. Many of us, over time, have settled into wandering groups, itinerant. Those taken by the spark pose as grave a danger to us as to your kind as well. Therefore, we do not stay in one location for too long. But there are a small group of others, the Wardens. The leader, the Crimson Prince, and the other Wardens, they know a fair deal. Powerful warriors and apt historians, good folk who have helped us for years. We had been coming out to trade with them upon hearing they were passing through the area. Mayhap we could introduce you.
Yes. If you assume they may have more information that would help everyone, then I'd be happy to. I think all of us would. He kind of just confers with the group. Yes. Yes, yes. We all agree.
Ayla just kind of like pats him on the shoulder and says, "I'll go and gather Robert." Kind of makes her way off to go after the now very brooding Robert, who's kind of like kicking rocks a small distance away. Just like getting that like aura of edgelord teenager kind of like emanating around them. But she returns before long. He says, "There's a small clearing in the thicket, not a long distance from here. I could guide you, your kind, who wish to break the cycle of hatred. It would be perfect for you to meet one of the greatest of our kind, one who has helped us for many years. Yes, I feel this could go a long way."
Yes. There has to be more to this than mere happenstance, us meeting like this. And I would like to take advantage of that and make the best of it.
Fate is a curious thing. Come, I'll guide you to where we were going to meet him.
Very well. We'll gather our things and be ready in a few minutes.
All right. So they kind of, not really depart, but they kind of like gather their things, and they're waiting a little further down sort of a small, it's not really a beaten dirt path, but more sort of like a game path cut through a little bit of bushes. And you guys get a chance to break camp, make your preparations. Is there anything that you guys would like to do?
Yeah, as we're talking, Shael will go to Costa and just say, perhaps you might tell Avatar Riala to hold off for a couple days.
Actually, yes. I'll tell her we have a situation we need to handle, and it takes precedence over being retrieved. That's a great idea.
I wouldn't want her to, or any scouts to come down to find us and just see us in a group of Hyposians and react what would be accordingly for them.
Yes.
Shame about that.
Don't shame about that. Shut up right now. You just shut up right now. Just wipe that smile off your face.
As one of the greatest of the scouts, Escanor, steps out.
Oh, God.
However, one of the Hyposians reveals himself to be Keanu Reeves.
Well, then I think the Hyposians are going to win then, so...
Honestly, yeah.
Nobody kill any Alberts. Alright, so Costin will go grab his pack, and he'll rummage through and grab the stone, and he'll hold it out to try and summon contact with Riala.
And as you focus your mind, clutching the stone gifted to you from the Avatar, you can feel that sort of faint vibration as a pulse enters your mind when you focus it. And you can not see, but you can feel Darugo out in the skies. It's still some distance out, and atop it, almost as though you see an illusory outline of the city, you guide your consciousness forward until you can see the outline of Riala, who looks up almost as your consciousness approaches.
Well, and good morning to you as well, young Gamwits. We're on our way now. It shouldn't be more than a couple of days. Are you all right? Is anything amiss?
No, Avatar Riala, we are quite well. As a matter of fact, we have a situation that we need to handle here before being retrieved that I feel takes precedence. If you could hold off for a few days and let us finish up our work here, and I'll get in contact with you again soon when we're ready to be retrieved.
Hold on. What manner of business is this, young Gamwits?
We have some information that we think we can dig up while we're here in this strange location, and I'll give you more details about it once I have something concrete. For now, just trust me and let me take care of this.
There's a long pause after you finish explaining this.
I see. The pilgrimage is an ever-curious thing.
Indeed.
Many things that we see throughout it. Well, I'll leave you to it, Costa. Please reach out if you need us to arrive faster, but I will let Lord Darugo know that we can wait a couple of days before our arrival.
Thank you, Avatar. We appreciate your consideration. Take care.
We will speak soon, young Gamwits. So as you're kind of taking a moment, you're doing all of that, Shael had spoken to you. What are Torin and Oriko doing?
You got a kid jumping back there. Of course. Colin's the same way.
What about Torin?
Typical. Oh no. Oh, no.
Pulls out his axes. Yes, Torin, this is the way. No, Torin, why did you put me away again? Oh, it's so dark.
All right. So, as you finish making your preparations for the morning, you pack up everything and break camp. You're guided through the lush floors of the forest to a broad dirt path that cuts through a copse of thick canopied trees. As the walk continues for some time, you kind of continue the conversation, though it starts to die down after an hour as the spell starts to wear off. But they talk about just a little more about the wandering sort of societies that they have, kind of talking a little bit more about the wardens and the Crimson Prince, said to be descended from a great house from ages long past. A kind of idea that rather resonates with all of you as you hear it, as ultimately the sort of facts of the past are murky at best when they are known. You proceed forward, the gentle sunlight cascading from a parting in the skies. Just a little beyond, as the path kind of cuts up a small hill, and cresting the top, a few figures emerge from sort of around some ferns and trees in the distance just ahead. Austin, proceeding forward, this sort of group of new Hyposians, Kunda, Dela, and Robaron, sort of along your left, you're walking a small bit off to the right, sort of abreast in this wide dirt path. And as you look, you recognize the thin crimson face, framed with long dark hair and curved horns. A set of yellow eyes shine with a friendliness, as this figure calls out to the other Hyposians that are accompanying you in that foreign tongue that, due to this, you no longer quite recognize. And for a moment, you kind of hear that shout out, and you all look over, and time seems to freeze. As there's a moment of mutual recognition, that call. They wave and they look over. It's just sort of the way the eyes are drawn to movement. They look over and see and meet the gaze of the rest of you.
And there is a moment of mutual recognition. As this tiefling, their eyes widen just momentarily. Zelos, the Hyposian who had attacked Darugo's reach, who had pursued you in the forests before. Accompanying him on the right is the robed, shorter Hyposian, her bluish-purple face sort of framed with the dark hood of the cloak she wears, horns sticking up. And on his left, the taller, grayish-red-skinned one with that broad face and the stony features, the large greatsword strapped to his back. And there's kind of like and the others sort of reply back in that foreign tongue. And you see Zelos just staring at all of you and abruptly breaks out and just in this very friendly tone, as far as you can tell, sort of by the mannerisms, continues the conversation, and you see the others. I need everybody to roll a perception and an insight for me, please.
Wow, Nick. Jesus. Perception. Mine's 20.
A 9 for perception and a 15 for insight.
Insight.
I'm gonna switch to digital dice.
21.
Bullshit.
So, can I get yours again, Costin?
20 perception, 21 insight.
You're the only one that scores both marks. So, some of you are just like tunnel vision at the sight of Zelos again, like freezing in your tracks. Torin, you're looking and you don't really notice, like there's something else that happens, but it doesn't appear as though there's nothing threatening. Orico, you saw a movement for just a second, but you're just like, you can feel your heart pounding like a drum, remembering what it was like the last time you saw this individual. What were your rolls again, child?
A 9 and a 15.
9 and 15, excellent. Okay. You again, just seeing these beings here drew you right back to that moment in that glen when you all were, oh my goodness, well, thank you, Dysfunctional Gaming TTV, for that raid.
Hey, hey.
Hooray, raid.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, my friends. Thank you for raiding. Playing a little D&D. All right, excellent. Well, we are too, and thank you very much for the raid and for sharing your community with us. I hope you're all doing well and enjoy as I torture my players.
Goody.
Shael, upon seeing the face of Zelos once more, you're just brought back to that moment in that glen when you just dropped prone and watched helplessly as all of your comrades... Oh my gosh! D-Dead, thank you so much for those gifted subs. I very much appreciate that.
Hooray!
Thank you for continuing to support the channel. You guys are the absolute best. So, you're brought back to that moment. That helplessness that gripped you like a vice. That difficulty breathing. Only Costin. Staring across at him, you can see and you notice those little things, both seen and unseen. The way that he met your eyes, you know without a doubt that he recognized you. But he broke away. Continued speaking to them, but you also noticed that the others, the smaller one, Kaya, had begun gesturing some kind of spell. The other one, his hand, just starting to move up to that greatsword, but there was a wave of his hand and a quick, pulled look, with a snapping look back, and they immediately stopped. As they approach, the others, sort of gesturing and speaking again, as they ready the spell, pulling out the shining Empyrean gem. Once again, the spell sort of sparkles and envelops you, Costin, as you hear, as you can kind of hear, and once again, you see the kind of spell fire off on Kunda. This is, my apologies, friend. I had forgotten upon seeing the Crimson Prince again. Excitement had overwhelmed me. My friends, please come and meet Costin, Shael, he's gesturing to all of you, Orico and Torin. And Zelos walks up and says, well, a pleasure to meet all of you indeed. Tell me, what brings Uplanders to the beyonds like this?
The
Don't often see many of your kind around here.
No, and the pleasure is ours as he wipes a bead of sweat off of his forehead with the back of his hand. We just happen to be here by happenstance, unfortunately. But we happen to meet some good friends of yours, and things have been amicable, for the most part. And we thought it best to try our hand at getting to know the lot of you a bit better, instead of taking the route that most of us normally do. Avoiding bloodshed this time.
Well, I'm certainly one for wanting to avoid any unnecessary bloodshed.
It would seem so, given your kind greeting. Come, we've been invited. Show us around. Let's sit down and have a talk.
Oh, I would very much enjoy having a nice, engaging conversation. I'm certain there's much we could learn from each other. Pray. He looks over to Kunda. Ah, what is it, my friend? Why don't you go on ahead and head to the camp? We've got everything set up there. I wanted to come and meet you all early on. I'll show your new friends around a bit. Of course, princess. And he goes forward, and there's this like genuine look in Kunda's eyes as he like clasps you on the shoulder. We'll meet ahead at camp, my friend.
Of course.
It's good. Full glad am I for us to learn more. Our people to bridge this gap.
Yes.
We'll speak
Please.
soon, my friends.
Yes. Take care. We will meet up with you soon.
Shael's gonna like whisper to Torin and she'll just say, on a scale from 1 to 10, we are totally fucked.
Can you roll a stealth check for me?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Not with the way my rolls have been going tonight.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
That's a
no.
surprise roll we're going to use later. Uh-huh. Okay.
Whatever I'm trying to sneak, I'm not very good at it with a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that what we're able to infer?
You're reasonably sure.
All of our insight was trash. Well, except for Torin and Costin.
So, you kind of, there's, a little bit of argument from Robaron, I want to hang out with the Crimson Prince, and just, come on! And, Delos, don't make me ask you twice. And, you see, for the first time, he freezes a little bit and, very reluctantly goes along, and as they kind of get out of earshot, Zealous looks back to all of you and says, "It's been some time, Avatar," he says, clearly in common.
Interesting that you know the common language.
Know thy enemy is the old proverb, isn't it?
I suppose. So, Crimson Prince is your title here?
A meaningless relic of a lost past.
Is that so? Is it often that you go about instigating violence, or was there an ulterior agenda you had when you attacked us?
You look over, and the large one is just already gripping his places. You'll do well not to insult him.
No
He
insult.
kind of holds up a hand. Whether or not you find my actions to be heavy-handed, I assure you they're a response.
For the time being, I have to take you at your word. We've come here looking to learn and hopefully establish peace. Our side, I know, is tired of bloodshed, as my friends behind me can confirm.
Your side? The smaller one kind of steps forward with this incredulous look on her face. Your side is tired of violence. You know not what our people have been through, and holds up another hand. Tensions are a little high right now. How about we take a walk together through the woods, cool our heels a little?
Looks to the group. He nods to Orico. It's clear there's misunderstandings that need to be cleared up before we move forward, and we should talk them out and clear the air.
Shall we then?
Yes.
He kind of guides you off the path. Like, it's not like he's leading you into, like, a dark thicket. He's just kind of guiding you around the sort of open field. And he looks around and he says, nature's a rather cruel thing, isn't it? Merciless. But it makes sense. That's the thing about it, is it just... There's a reason for everything in nature. Prey exist to be food, in the food chain. And even those highest up, the predators, die someday. They return to the earth, and the very things they feed upon eat the grass that grows from them. There's an order to it. An order to the world. I find it rather beautiful.
I will be the first to admit that despite my fortunate circumstances in Jarugo's Reach, where we all hail from, I still consider myself now, after looking back on what I've gone through previously, to have a sheltered and skewed perspective of things, and ultimately lack understanding, which is clear by the fact that we are communicating now, instead of fighting each other. I hope you don't hold that against us, knowing that we've been raised to hate you.
He kind of stops and turns, kind of like gesturing broadly. That's what I like about all of this. There's no hatred in nature. There is survival. Hate. Drifting away from the perfect balance that this world has so readily given us. Now that is a sin of your forebears.
He looks to the group. Given what you've just said, I'm wondering if the rest of you have any questions regarding... He's implying that we instigate hate.
He gives you a bit of a sidelong glance. Shall I show you? He kind of like smirks, and you kind of hear the two others snickering for just a moment. Says, when you're living a life that's not pampered within city walls, you quickly learn that only the strong survive. Well, I'd rather be a survivor than... well, otherwise, I suppose.
There's clearly been something missing when it comes to all of our education. I consider myself an educated person, but it was only this morning that I learned of the spark that affects your people. Something about the description of it sounds like it could be some kind of curse potentially, which isn't my specialty, but I know that where we're from, there are people who could potentially help stop the spread of it.
You think that we haven't tried everything? The smaller one, Kaya, you remember the name being, kind of sneers a little bit at that remark. She says, we've been raiding ruins, trying to discover lost secrets of ages past. Oh, but I'm certain there's something that we happen to have overlooked over in Darugo's Reach. Because when your kind took off, as the Blight took most all of us, I'm certain that finding a way to stop that was the priority of those false gods that you worship, and so enough. Many of us who have been living life along here are angry. You see, history... He kind of pauses for a second, and you see the tall one with the great sword. You recall the name a long time ago being said. Rixim stepped forward. It's written by those who are the victors. Your people withdrew to the gods, found safety there. Of course you'd be taught that all of us are bad. Monsters to be put down. It makes it easier to justify your raids, doesn't it? And don't you think that's a little bit convenient? Yet, Kaya just kind of like walks over, sort of like popping and looking around at all of you. Sure. Maybe the four of you would like to rewrite history, correct the past, build a bridge to the future, all sunshine and rainbows, but how many of the others would go along with you? How many of the other scared thousands taught that my people and I are nothing but monsters? How many of them would go along with it, Or what about that little lab that we'd found out about,
You mean the one that I've destroyed?
That Zelos gives you a very, intrigued and appraising look. Destroyed, you say?
Maybe that's not the correct word. I'd found out that there was a lab, and we raided it and stopped all experiments that were happening. We learned that one of our people was instigating, creating hypogeans that were ones with the spark, and running tests and doing terrible things to them, and that lab has since ceased. Put a stop to. I'm assuming we're speaking of the same lab, yes?
So that was it.
Dr. Velks.
Yes.
Is that a familiar name to you all?
We don't know who was involved with it, simply its existence. Those of ours have been kidnapped for some nefarious purpose, but I never imagined something like that. To weaponize the blight.
How did you learn of it? Did any of your people manage to escape?
You see the smallest smile appear on the hooded face of Kaya. I've got my ways.
She has informants, apparently. Which,
No,
at this
I'm
point...
just a lot better at magic than most of you.
Very well.
And you just kind of see this almost the stony features of Rakesum almost crack for a second as he rolls his eyes and rather humble about it as well.
Not that what we've done has erased anything that's happened in the past, but I hope that this situation that we've unknowingly corrected for you has put us on even footing, at least.
As I had said earlier, young Avatar, the sins of your forebears are great indeed. Of course, from your own perspective, the same could be said of us. You... Oh, no, please. Now that... You almost, you see for just a second they almost take a step back. But there's that sort of moment where, there's this instant, sort of natural repulsion from it. But they kind of rather collect themselves. Is something that I never thought I'd lay eyes on.
Really?
I'd not carry something related to that fiend, if I were you. Like my title, a meaningless thing from an age long past.
It's not meaningless. There are people wearing these masks, doing terrible things. There is what would be considered a cult, I suppose. It's how we ended up here on the surface.
You know then about where it all began, Vocathria.
Wait, do we?
You would at least recognize the name, Costin, as you've seen it in visions.
Okay. It sounds familiar. Vocathria? It's a city, right? Or was a city? We have very
Not
little
a
information.
city. A world.
World. Separate from
Yes.
ours.
Well, not quite. Kaya kind of looks as though she's working through the motions of trying to explain. Think of it, like another half to a coin.
Like a
There's
mirror.
heads and tails, right? Quite a mirror, but another world that's rather a part of this one, but not. It's hard to explain.
I had a strange vision that showed a landscape I had never seen before. Something that, well, it's hard to describe without showing you. It was foreign and strange and grand. And I'm asking the DM, wasn't it like upside down? Didn't you say it was like upside down to and there was like one city and then it was upside down and parallel to another city?
100%.
I remember seeing a grand city, and above it, almost like a reflection, upside down was another city. It was very strange.
Eternus. Well, if the few bits of information that we've obtained over the years are to be believed, that's what it was called. The greatest city in the world of Vocathria.
Interesting.
Your people, they long for the first age, what was lost before the evil surface dwellers had ransacked your cities and brought ruin to all. You're not the only ones that have lost.
I understand. All right!
Oh, awesome!
Yay! No, that's
No
good.
worries.
You're good. You're good.
Hope you got $1, Joe.
Yeah. Better give him 5 for that one.
I was gonna say, think about inflation, you guys. It might be $5
Right?
now.
Right?
Sorry, that totally took me out. Now, where were we?
So he had mentioned that the small bits of information that they had gathered up to this point, if it's to be believed, the city that Costin described was Eternus, the greatest city in the world of Vocathria.
Okay, gotcha.
That some of you might remember from a one-shot.
Was that? No, I don't think I was in that one shot. I was in the food one shot.
Yeah, that was just a made-up world. Yeah.
Yeah, that was all about Ryan Pibb right there.
Actually, no, you were in a one-shot.
Wait, was
You came in on the second half of it when you
yes.
guys were freeing
that.
Hilarious.
it? Yep.
Mhm.
Went
Okay.
through that library.
Is there a what's the connection between the group of individuals that we got that medallion from and this Eternus?
Well, That I'm not entirely sure. But he glances over to Kaya, who... I dug through several tomes. I hadn't found a whole lot, but there were mentions of a time when Vocathria had cities, grand cities like Eternus, spanning what you would consider continents, and of the birth of the Blight. I couldn't find a whole lot about it, but there was the rise of great fiends. One of them, she kind of points back to the medallion that Oriko has, went by Markoth, the Great Eye.
That sounds right.
You know his name?
Yeah, Shael directly looks at Oriko as soon as she hears that name. Like, no
We've
subtlety.
met someone claiming to be Markoth.
That is troubling. And Rakesum kind of looks over and says, it's rather foreboding if demons of ages past are once again emerging, especially in the upper world.
If you'd like, and he kind of directs his attention to Zelos. As I said, our situation with these masked figures and this Markoth is what brought us here. There is a temple of some sort of structure that we ended up in. And he kind of thinks about it for a minute. If you're curious, or maybe brave enough, I can show you to the location of where we came in from. And you be free to investigate it yourselves. It's dangerous. Incredibly dangerous, but it may be worth looking into in your own time.
Well,
since it's nearby, at least.
it would do well for us to look into this. If it truly is a fiend from ages past, something like that should not be made to go about free in this world.
Indeed. And at the very least, considering that he sort of looks around. You have children here. At the very least, I can tell you where it is to keep people from wandering in by mistake.
Nod to the others, who kind of nod in agreement at that. Very well, I'll take you up on your offer, but now it's my turn. Tell me why.
Why what?
I punched through the barrier of your town. I have stopped at nothing and will stop at nothing to see that city fall. Our conversation here changes nothing. My destiny was written for me long before any of you were born. Why is it that you do not raise your blade to me?
As I said before, we do not seek aimless bloodshed, and when I found out that we could communicate, it seemed like an opportunity too good to pass up, like the fates were directing me to something. I was, as I said, raised in a sheltered life, but it's always been in my mind to be someone who protected people. And if I can protect people by ending a war, then that's what I'm going to do. I would rather do this diplomatically than sacrifice more lives aimlessly.
Were it only that easy. I cannot be made to let go of this hate.
But
This
the people
hate-
that are there now, they are not our forefathers. They are just as ignorant as we are.
They contribute to the exact same thing as your forefathers. They compound the sins that the others began.
Only
they
because-
know not of what they do.
It's only because we are taught so. If I could show them differently, I have no doubt that they would feel the same as us.
Is murder
not all
done
of
in
them.
ignorance not still murder?
It is. But would you rather not just put the past aside and start over? Instead of letting chaos and bloodshed ensue? Would you put your own people at risk just to satiate vengeance?
My own people have been at risk because of your people for ages past.
And I'm willing to stop right here and right now. Put down my blade and end it.
Could you stop it then, young Avatar? Could you stop what has been going on for over 500 years? Do you
No.
think they would give up their comfortable lives for the sake of those they view as monsters? No.
They might. And
They
I'm
will
willing
not.
to try. I am willing to try.
You
and
are,
I'm going
and they are not.
will bet my life on it. I will make it my life's pursuit to end this as peacefully as possible.
And I've known others who held such lofty ideals, but it was lives led in vain. I've gone down this path, young Avatar, and I've seen what lies at the end, and it is only more suffering.
Then, Zelos, if you are so absolute in this, strike me down now. Put an end to the next Avatar. I stand right here before you, no weapon in hand.
To offer an end that I've wished for so long, so freely. He just casually starts stepping towards you.
I hold no grudge against you. My heart says this is the right way. I place my life in your hand. I give you absolute trust.
Then let me show you where that will get you. And faster than you can react, he reaches back. That'll be a 19.
Yep, that hits.
He slaps you upside the head. You're a fool who reminds me of my younger self.
Costa just turns back and gives him a smile.
How dare you, Nicholas? How dare you?
This conversation's gone on long enough. Let's return to the others. And he goes and kind of turns and he says, I'd forgotten what it's like. Wishing for a different future. And he kind of starts walking up. And as you guys follow towards the camp, there's that kind of moment where like, like the tension kind of cuts in the air.
You've got a good backhand, Zelos. I'll give you that, as he kind of rubs the side of his face.
And then, did anyone, you feel the ground shaking just slightly.
Uh-oh.
And suddenly, cutting through In the silence of the forest, a terrible roar fills the air, shaking the earth itself. Zealous looks around wildly. He begins shouting in that other language, only Costin understanding him. This... The one taken by the blight. I thought that we'd found it. Thought that we'd finished it. I don't think we did. The ground continues to rumble for a bit, and the earth under your boots begins to warp and shift as the rumbling grows greater and greater. You can kind of see in the distance around the corner, Kunda, Dela, and Robern starting to run out looking confused as the earth, in a great rumble, opens up under all of your feet. And you're drawn, falling into a great darkness below. I need everybody to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, God. Dexterity.
Don't fuck me. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm using one of my inspiration.
Damn.
I am using an inspiration immediately.
I'm gonna take my roll. I rolled a 5 plus 2, 7.
I cannot roll a
I haven't-
fucking double digit tonight.
There is a team inspo. Yes, if you would like to take it, you can.
I've already used one inspo.
Okay, I'll take it. Okay, that's a little better.
That sucks.
At least I'm not a fucking...
Anybody above a 15, you were able to
Yeah.
kind of like grab along, and there's like the earth under, there's rock, but there's kind of like some slick mud and roots. You're able to slow yourself enough that you're able to like kind of like slide down and take no damage. A 14 or under will, however, take looks like, oh my, okay, 12 points of force damage.
Ow.
You scream out for one another as all of you are drawn down, and you notice it's different holes opening up. As many of you plummet further and further below. Only far up above you do you see just a sliver of sunlight. Now, my peeps with dark vision, which I think is just Shael,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you look around. You give a shout. You're kind of in like a very dark, it looks like a small kind of like tunnel system. Underground caves of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
You shout for your friends. The rest of you kind of hear an echo of her voice distant. It kind of feels like most of you had slid kind of down in these different tunnels in different directions, deposited in different spots. However, Shael, in the darkness, you can see a figure rising and moving towards you.
Oh,
And with
no.
that, we're going to take a break.
Oh no!
God
So
damn.
rude.
All right, everybody. We will be right back, everyone.
So rude.
Red.
All right, we are back. Everybody feeling good and ready to continue?
Ready to continue trolling you for
Yeah.
forgetting to add art to the arts channel, the art stream.
Sorry that I have a lot going on. Okay. Excellent. Everybody's all reset. So, Shael,
Mm-hmm.
in the kind of darkness, you can kind of look up and you can see that like there's kind of like a tunnel bending around that you were kind of falling through. And you ended up here at the very bottom, and there's like another one kind of adjacent. And it looks like a humanoid figure begins to stir some moments later. And as they rise up, you can see, though covered in mud and muck, is the figure of Kaya. Just this. Prestidigitation all of this off and begins like just like prestidigitating all of the like muck off of her.
Child
Irritating.
will help magic the muck away from her.
Oh, thank you.
Don't mention it. Do you know what just happened?
Well, She kind of looks around a little bit. Says, Lord Zelos and I, along with Rixon, you see, there are certain blighted ones that, when it takes hold of them for too long, they devolve into monsters, simply seeking to harm anyone or anything. At times we hunt them down to protect the others, the ones that can be saved. There was one that we thought we'd... I suppose that doesn't matter now. Whatever it was, I don't know, maybe... It looks like there's some kind of underground caves here or something. Something must have shaken the ground and opened up a hole for us to fall through.
These blighted ones have the power to shake the ground and create chasms like this?
Large ones, yes.
Are they in here and...
I don't know. The way I see it, we just need to get out of here and maybe find the others.
Yes. First and foremost, I'm duty-bound to protect the Avatar, and I can't even tell where he is. Just kind of like just grunts, like... Or not grunts, but just sighs, like exasperated.
Well, nothing to do but go forward then, right?
Yeah. Do you have any light spells that you could cast?
Well,
You
that's
mentioned being so good at magic.
elementary, so you like conjures this ball of light. Come on then. Like very confidently begins to stride down the tunnel.
Yep. Shael just nods and follows.
Oriko. You kind of like much like Shael. You lift yourself off the ground and you're actually like stuck in a whole bunch of mud, and you actually feel a rather large hand kind of help you up. And you look up, and there's the rather large form of Rixon there with you. You all right? Rixon, yeah. No problem. But this place looks like there's some kind of underground cave system in here. We'll need to find our way out, find the others. Not well. And the small dancing light of the fire illuminates a small, kind of very muddy and like rocky, just sort of earthen cave. And there's a tunnel seeming to go forward. You look up and along the wall, there's like other sort of tunnels kind of going down. It looks like there's a whole like cave system in here, but as far as you can tell, pretty much one way to go forward. Taking out the guesswork. Well, that works for me. Let's get going. Stone-faced and just hand on the handle of his greatsword, he follows you along. Costin is the next one to kind of come to after the long fall. You awaken next to Zelos, who has... looks like he's like produced some kind of light. Good. You appear unharmed.
I wouldn't say that. As he kind of pulls himself up off the ground. My spectacles are cracked. Well, that's delightful. But the least of our worries. So he kind of puts them back on his face. At least I didn't lose them.
Can you move?
I think so. Do you know where we are?
Didn't say. There was some kind of roar at times, loud noises, heavy footsteps. There was a large blighted one that we were pursuing. Thought we'd finish the job, but it looks like we didn't.
Does this happen often? Can they normally crack the earth apart and create great chasms as this?
Not always, but if there were this underground network of tunnels, it would have made the earth up above a little more malleable.
Indeed. Well, kind of looks around. What are we looking at here?
Looks like, kind of, with the lights, there's a couple of ways. What I can gather, let's roll him a survival check. Not certain which way to go. It was a really bad survival check.
Okay. I'll roll a survival check. Gonna use one of my inspirations on that, because I just want to know where I'm going. No, you know what? I'll just leave it. My survival was bad also. Total. So I rolled a 6 total on my survival.
You're looking around and just completely dazed and confused. He says, "Oh, what was it that Rixum used to say? I can't remember if it was follow your nose or wait for the air currents."
Air currents. That might be helpful down here, actually. I don't know that smelling anything. He kind of smells like dirt. Don't know that would do us any good. But if there's air currents, that could potentially mean that there's an opening to the surface, or something akin to it.
That's good enough for me. Let's get going then.
Indeed. My sight isn't good, so I'll follow you.
Right then, come along, fledgling avatar.
Let me fix my torn shirt first. Hold on.
Ah, I see. You two also don't. You also don't skip ab day. That's good.
Indeed. Must stay in shape.
A strong core is central.
Indeed.
It protects your back.
Yes, back injuries are very debilitating.
They are, especially for a martial artist.
Well, do we feel a breeze from any of these tunnels? No?
One moment, I'm trying to get the light to not dance all over your washboard abs.
Oh, sorry, let me cover that up. Let me cover that up.
That's quite distracting. I think I've got another blight. I think I'm getting the gay.
I wouldn't blame you.
And now the two of you begin moving forward. The last one is Torin. You kind of get up, and it's dark, and you're just completely surrounded by pitch black, pretty much at this point. The light above, because the tunnel you'd fallen down kind of curved a little bit, so there's no light filtering down to where you're at. However, Torn, while you're down there, you begin to hear footsteps in the distance. So you pull out your torch and light it, and you actually eventually, from the footsteps, see a small illumination and a shadow moving forward. large and bending, a long snout, lined with countless sharp horns, stepping forward, moving closer and closer. That's the moment that the figure steps into view. The dancing light of another torch as a dragonborn rounds the corner, with a brass dragonborn with small horns protruding along the sides of their snout. They carry themselves well, but are adorned with worn chainmail and carry two heavily weathered short swords strapped to their side. And as they approach, they kind of give a start, and they're like, "Well, now, what are you doing down here?" Oh, now, we don't get a whole lot of people traveling down here. What's your name, sugar? Oh yeah, sometimes when there's a real big rumbling in the earth, some of those sinkholes open up. We got a big old tunnel, almost like a maze through here. Y'all needing help getting out? Oh, well, bless your heart, you got a son? Well, why don't you come on here with me? I'll help you get out of here. What's your name again? Well, Torrent, my name's Ethan. It's a right pleasure to meet you. Come on now with me, sugar. And she who you eventually kind of discern, when it comes to Dragonborn, it takes a little bit to figure it out sometimes. But she begins to kind of guide you very easily through a lot of the caves. Like, you would kind of expect like there's a slow, cautious approach that you would take when navigating a subterranean passage, but she's just walking forward with all the confidence of somebody strolling through the park. Oh, well, I've been cutting through these here underground tunnels for some time, Torin. Now, what about you? Y'all been out here in the beyonds? Afraid? Well, I did have a family a long time ago, another part of the world, though. Afraid I'm about the only one passing through these parts these days. Y'all know what it's like growing up alone too, huh? Now, whereabouts you from, sugar?
San Diego.
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Well, ain't that the sweetest thing? You're still in touch with your son? Well, we'll get you out of here real soon, okay? Let's return our attention over to Kaya and Shael for a moment. As you two have been kind of trying to figure your way out through the winding passages of this underground cave for a little while, we can reasonably deduce like 15 to 20 minutes have passed as you're just slowly making your way around, and you kind of come to this part where it comes together like really, really like narrow. And you just hear this exasperated sigh from Kyle. Of course it gets fucking narrow.
Claustrophobic, are you?
No, I'm not claustrophobic. I just don't like small spaces.
Very common. It's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Well, and she kind of like walks over and you can see like she's kind of like holding up the light and she's kind of taking a really risen look. Only one way to go forward, then just Misty steps past it. Come on then.
Ugh. What the hell? I'll do my face step and do the same. If we're flexing here.
Please describe what you look like as you face up.
She kind of like waves her hand in front of herself, and it's almost like not like TV static, but kind of. It's like a static energy passes over her, and she suddenly is on the other side, right next to Kaya.
Rather handy thing, isn't it?
It really is. It's gotten me out of quite a few tough spots.
I have to admit, she kind of continues walking along, guiding you through the dark passages. I am rather fond of magic. It's just... kind of pauses, looking back over her shoulder at you for a moment. I'm not exactly fond of all kinds of magic that were developed.
Understandable.
I mean, it's one thing to draw upon arcane energy from the world and yourself, to construct it into a spell and use it, but... And there's almost this hint of, like, animosity. It's another thing to draw upon the life force of the world and bind it into a gem.
The Empyrean gems, you mean?
You do have a quick wit.
I have been researching them a little bit more as of late, but they're not my focus typically.
What about them are you researching?
Just this old book that we found. Kind of vague, but a little out of my depth, honestly. I handed it off to my boss.
And I'm certain she kind of like continues sort of climbing up a couple of rocks, moving upward, glancing back at you. And that will go well, no doubt.
Hopefully, she's a very intelligent woman. A great deal of respect for her, so.
And what do you think will happen someday?
I don't know.
You've never questioned it, have you?
No,
Where
and I
the
would like
power
to
of
have.
the gems comes from?
No. We've just been told that they're rare, and that's one of the driving forces of our economy.
And she pauses and gives you this really long stare for a moment. And finally just almost sort of scoffs at it, just... You really don't know.
Care
You
to
really
elaborate?
don't realize it. It takes a lot of magic to be bound into one of those gems that you all so frivolously use. The magic has to come from somewhere. Haven't you ever wondered what happens when it runs out?
I mean, yeah, I suppose I've wondered, but it's not like it's there anything I've had access to. I don't live like Costin. I never have. The only one I have is the one I use to communicate with my best friend, and he bought it for me. And then 2 that I found out here, actually, in the wilds.
Haven't you ever thought that when things were lost back in the First Age, maybe there were some things that were better lost?
Like what?
Magic that steals the life of a world. Should anybody have access to something like that?
Probably not.
So, where do we draw the line then?
Is that what happened to Eternus and Vocathria?
She gives a small shake of her head. I can only theorize. Most records, at this point, are gone. And even the means to get back there are... Come. We've got to find the others. She continues along. The trek through the dark passages growing more quiet as we turn our attention to Oriko and Rakesim. Now, Oriko, it's not a stretch to say that you're a little more of a shy person. And so it's been a little almost awkward as Rakesim is very clearly a man of few words. Just kind of like going along, like a look at each other like, huh? Mm-hmm. But, you know, as minutes turn to the better part of a half an hour, you know, you guys are kind of going along, and eventually you get to a part where it looks like there was a complete cave-in, and you look down, and there's a chasm before you, maybe about 15 feet, but the other side is at a slight upward trajectory. And he looks at it and says, well, that looks a little bit troublesome. What does that mean?
Ooh.
The Baron fucking
That's
abides.
badass.
That is, god damn it, that is so... Take a goddamn point of inspiration for that.
I was actually
Yeah,
excited
so cool.
considering you were both big people. I thought you were gonna form one mega person and like sit on his shoulders.
Morphin time. Like...
Lord Zealous told me about this. They call this Alpha Formation. Excellent. So here's what I'm gonna do too. So you can cast that on the wall, and let's say that you can do an athletics check to see like how like, because if you're able to like position yourself and like hold yourself with perfect control, you can climb across it without taking any damage. Beautiful. Roll an athletics for me.
Nice.
You got a couple of little like scrapes on you, and not enough to really constitute damage. But you got like a couple little scrapes, but you get by pretty much no worse for wear.
Just looks like you went blackberry picking.
Right?
Natural one.
Oh shit.
Jumps up and grabs on it. He makes it to the other side, but his arms are like bloody. As he's going to end up taking, because that's per 5 feet of movement. We're looking at about 15 feet across. I'll just roll it in here. Because that is 2d4 piercing for every 5 feet. So that's
2d4 times 3.
that sucks.
64.
Yeah.
19 points. Yikes.
Jesus.
Yeah, his like arms are like really scraped up, but it's like it doesn't seem as though it's phasing him that much. It's fine. All right, fair enough. And he like takes his breath, and you like see like this sort of like light channels through him, and the cuts begin to close.
Second wind.
Well, it's not quite second wind,
Oh.
but it's almost as good. Actually, it's better than that. As he has to like wipe up the yeah, you know exactly what I just did.
Yeah. I got you.
And then he just kind of like tears off a bit of his cloak and just like wipes it all off and kind of puts it away. Says, better. Nice trick.
Why do I want these two awkward tall people to fall in love in this cave?
All right.
So, how do you know him? You know, the Avatar kid. Yeah,
Of course.
not this demon that awkward finger guns. Yeah. No, and he's like clearly like he's looking like Cloud from FF7 remake, like saved my life a long time ago. Pretty much owe him everything. I guess it's probably not too different from you and your friends. Yeah. longer that something goes on, the harder it is to fix it. I'd like to see it fixed.
Compassion? Mm-hmm.
It's not just about teaching compassion and love. It's easy enough to get it at the onset, but it's really hard to unlearn hate. Your trek continues for some time. Further in, wondering where your friends are, if they're okay. Costing. Like, you've just, like, finished up, like, just washing your abs right alongside Zelos, who has a
Yeah.
formidable six-pack, but it's not your eight-pack, let alone the abs that you have on your back.
Dang. Okay. It's true. It's true.
You guys, he opens up a secret room, you guys have a sexy pillow fight for a little bit, like, you know...
We had some good bonding time then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two became one.
More like bondage time.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Listen, there's something that we don't joke about in my games, and that's bondage on anything but raccoons.
No.
You can blame Katie for that one.
Yeah, no. No thanks.
Yeah, she polymorphed a monster, and they're like, "Oh, we should tie it up so it doesn't come after us."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
For the record, I think Nibs is the one that tied it up.
What?
I don't know why this keeps getting put on me.
Good job, Katie.
Well, your character's hoe phase also wasn't just a phase, so. But you continue kind of along with Zealous for a bit, and eventually you come to a point where there's not quite a cave-in, but like a large bit of rubble had fallen in, rather blocking the path. And he says, "Never is easy, is it?"
No. Fortunately, it seems not. I don't suppose this is something we can move. He kind of walks up to it and sees if he can shift a couple of the pieces around to see if it's maybe not as bad as it seems, so they don't have to backtrack.
If you could roll athletics for me and take advantage, as Zealous will be helping you out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hold on here. Athletics +8, so it's gonna be 24.
You begin to kind of move the bigger piece of rock, and like you kind of like reach up, like you kind of like go along the side, putting your shoulder into it to try to move it over. Zealous kind of comes down, like really sort of bending at the knees and trying to lift up, and you two begin pushing and lifting, and at first it begins to move really easily.
Mm-hmm.
But then it gets stuck on the other rocks, and you guys are straining, exerting great effort. And with a low grind of the rock against the floor, your combined effort is able to move it and open up a passageway leading further in. Not bad, Avatar.
Not bad yourself. It's always nice to have a helping hand.
Well, I've spent a long time rather hating most of the kind, the uplanders like yourself. It's a rather refreshing thing to find more of a human side.
It's something that I've recently learned the hard way. I blame so much on my sheltered life towards my ignorance. And partly it's my fault for not trying to learn more about what people really go through. And I was made painfully aware of certain things even in my own city. And I've tried to have a more open mind and a broader outlook on things since that point. I don't like suffering. I want to help.
You've seen Vacathria. You'd mentioned that. Tell me, do you understand the cycle of these gods that you worship? What it truly means to perpetuate that? To be Avatar?
Something I have yet to fully comprehend. I've only just recently started on what they call a pilgrimage towards ascending to the state of Avatar. So I can say, no, I don't know.
He's walking along and he kind of pauses for a moment, crossing his arms as he assesses you for a moment. It's a rather funny thing. A month ago, I wanted nothing more than to destroy that entire tainted city. To bring low that false god that you all worship. A week ago, I'd have likely killed you where you stood. Life's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose it is. Hopefully, when we get out of here, you might be able to impart some knowledge and enlighten me to certain things that I was blind to before. I want to grow past what tragedies have happened in the past and to try to make them better.
It's just like someone I used to know. Practically a lifetime ago at this point.
I'll take that as a compliment, I think.
Oh, it was. She truly was the best of us. Yes, she was.
What happened?
Well, you wish to really know the truth about that, young Avatar?
Of course, I wouldn't ask if I didn't. Understanding the past will help pave the way for a better future, I hope.
Long ago, she saved me. More than I could... More than words. And when she needed me most, I couldn't save her. Because of those that came from that false god in the sky. Finding ruins. Trying to lay claim to some lost age, glory that was lost to time. Those fucking gems. No, they came down and they saw us. And they immediately spilled our blood with their weapons. Because we're all monsters, right?
No.
It's what you were taught, though. And it's what they believe. And I lost everything that day. because of what they were taught to believe. People can be taught, Avatar. People can be taught a number of things. But unlearning something, now that's something else altogether.
I suppose you're right. I have a bad feeling that if anyone else were to have stumbled upon you that weren't me and my friends, it may have gone just as expected, but I'm going to do what I can, and I can't make promises, but I'm going to try and use my influence to re-educate with the truth. The people in my city, as much as they hold that hatred, I can't imagine that they'd be willing to spill blood for no reason. Fear is a powerful driver, and I want to help my people overcome that fear and see with truth instead of with fear.
See to it that you do. Because if you don't teach them to be better, and if things do not change, then I will finish what I started. And besides, he walks forward and just kind of claps you on the shoulder. If it had been anybody but you, the outcome is that they would be dead. Come on.
Let's go then.
And lastly, we turn our attentions as you continue your progress through the caves to Torin. So you've been kind of walking along with Issa for some time. So how long you been out here in the Beyonds this time? A few days. You had anything to eat, hon? Well, that's just too bad. One second here, Suge. Y'all sit down and rest yourself for a moment. And she pulls out a pack, and you see, like, she kind of unwraps some stuff, and she hands you some frog legs, 3 sets of them. Now, that's one of my favorite treats there, so you enjoy, Sugar. And you bite in, and roll a Constitution saving throw. I'm kidding. No, you bite in, and there's a lot of natural seasonings. One thing you kind of found in a lot of areas in the wilds, out in the beyond, there's less like salt and pepper, less mineral-based stuff. In this forested area, it's more like herbs and aromatics. And that's what you're getting a lot of out of this. And you're biting in, and like it's clearly like cold, it's room temperature, it's not freshly cooked. But like the seasoning is pretty spot on. Like you're biting, and Torin likey. I learned a thing or two in my time, don't you worry. Oh no, Torin, I ain't no chef, just somebody who learned their way around of using a few herbs and spices, that's all. Oh, you're welcome, Sugar. Now, y'all feeling better? You want to keep on moving along then? Y'all said you was from out in the wilds living in Darugo's Reach, right? Don't think I never been up there. In fact, I ain't never lived in any of them big cities like that. Always lived out in the countryside myself. Y'all ever been out at that great mountain near Ephepolis? Big old volcano. Lovely place. Well, I passed through there once or twice on my travels. Gotta keep on. A lot of them subterranean passages don't want them nasty hypogeans catching you, or them owlbears. So y'all ever fought one of those out in the woods, y'all don't want to encounter one of those one-on-one. Oh no! Oh, bless your soul, honey. No, there's no owlbears underground. Most of them live up in the mountains and out in the forest, hon. Oh, bless your heart, sweetie. Y'all think you need to be protecting me? Oh, they're mighty tasty, though. Y'all ever had owlbear stew? Oh, well, it is just to die for. And as you continue the walk along, Issa gives you the full recipe, but not just the recipe. She does the like internet thing where she gives you this long ass story before talking about the ingredients. But by the end of this, you know how to make owlbear stew now. And it was in that moment that you overcame your fear. Well, there are a few. Oh, hold on there, Shug. She crouches down and says, "Come here. Y'all see that?" And poking out the side is what looks like a mole rat. It's a rather large, like, rodent, but it's got the star nose like thing, like the star nosed moles, and it's like. Y'all ever eaten one? Oh, they. Well, that's what makes eating them more fun, sugar. Let's
Wait,
get
don't
it.
eat me.
She's gonna. Let's see how this attack goes. Hey, one second. Hey, you're gonna do great, okay?
No, all PCs are hot. It's canonically true.
Oh,
Okay,
gotcha.
so
Okay.
she. How much damage does this do? Does she finish it? It's not particularly strong. Yeah, she kills it. So she's like, now watch this, sugar. And she pulls out this jacked up, like this short sword that she pulls out. There's probably more missing than there is left of it. Like it's like a jaggedy blade, and just catches it right in the neck, and it kind of twitches for a couple seconds, just blood just sort of splurting out. And it lets out this really loud squeal. It starts to like scratch of it and just falls down. Now that's dinner for 2 days right there. As you look, this thing's like it's like the size of a goat. Like it's a really fucking big mole rat. It's unusually large.
Would you say it's a rodent of unusual size?
ROUs, I don't think they exist. But you guys drag it along, and she says, "Well, we're not far from outside, so we should find some of your friends soon." And it's around that time that all the paths kind of converge to sort of one area out in the forest. It's kind of near like a sort of cliffside area, sort of on the edge of the forest. One second, my very center of my back itches, and this is my personal hell.
Take it
good
like
enough.
a man.
I can't do this.
Just take it.
All right.
Just take it.
Greatest oh my goodness, you're saving my life. A little to the right. Oh,
Nick, where's your scratching post? You can just rub up like a bear.
Actually, I am known to do that. Ah, perfect. Thank you. Ah, that's love right there.
Truth.
But you all kind of emerge once more into the sunlight. Thankfully, it looks like it's getting to the point like late morning, midday. As all of you emerge, it's kind of by a large cliff. Let me go ahead and load up the map real quick for you.
Ooh, man.
There's only on this map. There's only one cliff hole area, but like just imagine there's more. Let me. Maybe I can do like a little something like this.
Uh-huh.
Like you kind of emerge from all these little cave entrances, and you kind of taking in your surroundings once again, momentarily all find each other pretty quickly.
Oh.
Go ahead and I'll just go onto this camp. We're not really in battle, but just to show off this map a little bit. But yes, you are all once again reunited with each other. What do you do?
Group hug.
Yay! Oh, everyone made it. Kind of looks around at everyone. You all seem unharmed as well. Oh, I was worried we would have to go dig you out. Yes.
Likewise.
Yes. And he looks over. Who's Torin? Who's this new individual? Who's your new friend here?
My name's Issa Shug, but now that I let you out, I'm a little bit shy around others, so I think I'm gonna go back in and start jumping on the other way. You're most welcome there, Torin. Now y'all take care, okay? All right, sugar, I'll do just that. Old family recipe.
What? Okay, okay. You all seem relatively unharmed. Do we happen to know where we are? Kind of looks to Zelos and the others. Is this landscape familiar to you?
Yes, it looks like we're still in the same forest that we were before. Gone a fair distance from where we were, but the same general location.
Right, that's good news at least. Yes, your village.
I agree. We need to get back to the camp and make sure everybody's all right.
We should probably move with haste. If that rupture in the ground was caused by one of those affected with the spark, it may still be rampaging around. We should see if it's still there and take care of it.
Absolutely.
Which way are they going? It winded around quite a bit. You've kind of lost your bearings, but you could do a skill check. You could use primeval awareness. Anything you'd like to do. That's one of your class abilities. You can.
Yep.
I think expend a spell slot to figure out how many of a certain particular type of creature are within 1 mile of you, and I can give you like number and kind of like general location. Excellent. Go ahead and burn a spell slot. Let's see. So see, region around you. Doesn't reveal the location or number. Whatever. Fuck that. So you can sense that there are Hyposians around you. Obviously, it's going off with the 3 that you were immediately with, but you're getting readings of more, possibly another 3, smaller, fainter within a mile of you. You're also getting some really large auras. Auras, specifically. Now here's where I'm going to ask people, how are you guys doing? Because
Going.
pretty clearly, like we're moving into a possible encounter here.
We're good.
Good?
Yeah.
Do this.
Excellent. Scoot in.
Studis.
So, in that case, Oriko, just as you kind of finish that, you take that information. How would you like to convey that to the others? You can kind of sense it more sort of towards the northwest, let's say. We need to make haste then.
Agreed.
All right. So, you guys, let's do this real quick. So you guys begin running upwards into the forest, trying to track the direction of where Oriko's pointing you. Now, as you're running along, I'm assuming you guys are going to be dashing, trying to get there as quickly as possible. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a round of Constitution saving throws.
Constitution.
There we go.
17.
Go ahead.
Good choice.
Good choices. Thankfully, you're just like running through and you guys are still really fresh because you got that long rest and all that stuff. You guys are going along, and then after another good several turns of running, you get the distance enough to see 2 really large beasts, like rather large and almost serpentine, with about like 5 clawed legs, but there's like they have an almost teal bluish tint to the like almost rubbery skin that goes down, like kind of like it's like a large almost snake-like maw and a head with horns kind of coming out, but its eyes are almost like a sickly like orange, and there's this kind of like viscous like sacs under it and black veins kind of going down its body. And as it's kind of like, you can see a couple figures of what you would normally identify as Hypogeans. Looks like almost humanoid horned creatures, tieflings, and a couple of them looking like kind of smaller, different colored ones you might identify as goblins for the sake of mechanics. Running away from this thing, and like, it's got like viscousy, dark purple ooze dripping from its fangs, biting and snapping and chasing after them. You hear cries in the other direction. Breaking, bending, and snapping of branches and trees. Frantic cries. Hey, thank you very much for the 1,000 bits there, Stoic. I appreciate that very much, my friend.
Hey.
And Levi gave us a team inspiration.
All right, full team inspo, you're going to need that. So, Zeldos looks up, he says, damn, looks like there's 2 of them. I think we should split up. The others and I can handle one. Try to save the people in that direction. He looks to Costin, and he gives you this look. A gaze that says so much more than what's said in that moment. A gaze of, can I trust you guys? The other one, without way, chasing the others. Can the 4 of you take care of that?
We'll take care of it. He looks to the group.
Of course.
Right?
No question.
As soon as we're finished, we'll head over your way. Be careful, alright?
Understood. You as well.
Kaya kind of like nods over to Shael. Says, don't get too close to it. And they begin kind of going off. And, like, Rakesum just kind of like looks at Oriko and like just nods. As they...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just kind of like look over at Costin and you both nod and you both just start like cleaning your abs in a river.
Wait, you brought the oil, right, Torin?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, bonding. That's...
Yeah.
Yay.
Screw your cooldowns. Let me bless my friends.
We're going to party.
You bless us by just existing.
It's true.
Potato.
It's true.
So you guys, and let me make sure that you are on this as well. Okay, perfect. You're in the forest. You guys can arrange yourselves however you'd like your marching order to be.
That looks good. Squishy caster in the back.
As you see
Yep.
this thing
Ooh, fuck
stepping
that.
forward with this guttural growl moving through the forest. Roll for initiative.
Roll for battle music.
Ooh,
Not
good
2.
initiative. Screw digital dice.
My physical dice were being so mean to me.
Okay,
Right.
so you got a 9. Child. Oh, it's doing that thing where it didn't reset again. It's like...
It looks right on my end. So.
Beautiful, there we go. Okay, and costume, what was yours?
18.
Okay. Costin, you're the first one to respond. This thing was just snapping. You can see like a broken tree where it was. People are kind of fleeing in the other area, other direction. But this thing was just had snapped at them, and as you run in the corner, it kind of like looks over and sees all of you. What are you going to do? It is your turn. Torin, you're on deck.
Alright, so let me pull up my ruler here. This. Oh, not quite. I think I'm just gonna move in my movement. Actually, since I'm not attacking this turn anyway, I'm just gonna dash so I can get right up on it and kind of just draw its immediate attention, hopefully, with my sword and shield drawn.
Excellent. So you pull out some parchment and you just sketch them out real quick.
Yes. Yep.
Beautiful. All right.
Quick draw.
And that's your turn?
That's my turn, because it was dash.
Orin. You're up next. Costin is dashed forward. This thing is looking big. It's looking mean. What are you going to do? Yep. Okay. So that'll be part of your movement is drawing, and then you'll use your dash to do that. You can't do an offhand attack since you used your action to dash, but you're in position. Beautiful. Just as you dash up, it is going to yeah, we're going to have it just bite first. Oops. Sorry, roll with advantage. 20, however, against Costin.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. You take 15 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then it is also going to constrict.
Oh, there's two of them. Why is there two of them?
I don't know why it just did that. That was dumb. Roll 20's having a meltdown right now.
Yeah, it is.
Cloned itself.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's his new hidden ability. Okay.
All right, cloning. Wow, 29, huh? Jesus.
Yep, it rolled really well. Okay, what? Oh, there we go.
I take
didn't
damage
realize-
and
You take another 38 points of damage.
Jesus.
okay then.
And
All right.
you are now grappled.
Yeah, I sure am.
Yep. As you dash forward, it just like catches you on your arm. You're able to throw it off pretty quickly, but then as you're distracted by that, it coils its long body, starts to squeeze you as you can feel the air leaving your lungs.
Okay.
Unless you've got something.
I was gonna say, can I use a reaction?
For what?
So I gained a new ability, Runic Shield.
Okay.
Oh no, never mind. It's for allies only. Never mind.
All
It's
right.
good. We're good. We're good.
Shael, it is your turn.
Okay, so
Orica,
I'm
you're on deck.
going to summon so I can summon it up to 150 feet, and if I put it like there, yeah. So centering from, where did I just measure to? Right there by that rock behind it.
Okay.
Is a storm spear
Okay.
that, since it is within its 20-foot radius, it says that each creature in the sphere, when it appears or that ends its turn there, must take 2d6 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, it rolled an 18 on the strength saving throw, so I believe that succeeds.
Oh, okay, yeah, shit. Until the spell ends, I can use a bonus action. So can I do that now that it's...
Yeah?
Okay.
I think so. It was
Yeah,
an
until the
action to
spell
cast.
ends.
It was
Yeah.
one action to cast, so you're using a bonus action not to cast another spell, but to activate the effect of that spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So make a ranged spell attack. Which is a d20 plus 8, which is Okay. Hold on. Let me figure out how to... Oh my god, I can't do shit tonight. Okay.
Inspiration.
Well,
I mean,
and then
if you have inspo,
I do. Let me use that. I just don't trust anything to roll better. I don't know what die to trust. Digital, real, any of them. They're all trash.
why does it keep multiplying it? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Pretty
There we
cool,
go. Okay, so that hits. That's a 19 plus 8 is 27.
Roll for damage.
Okay, and that's 4d6.
That's a lot of damage.
3
Yeah, it is.
and 4. Okay, so that is 10 damage. Not great, but...
All right, so as you conjure this like storming sphere, it just breaks away from it, but then lightning arcs up, hits it. You can see it starting to go. I'm gonna be really nice and say that this one didn't hit Costin, even though it's
wait,
constricting
it says
around
a creature
him.
that I choose. Oh. Fuck, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Well, normally it would just normally hit it, no problem. But I'm like,
Yeah.
it's constricting Costin and it's electricity going through it. But I'm gonna make the call that this one just hit that.
Okay.
All right, that's your turn.
Yes, but it now has disadvantage on wisdom checks
Okay.
made to listen. I don't know why it would listen to anything, but oh, unfortunately, so do you guys.
Alrighty. We're listening.
You're not listening. That's the problem.
I'm trying to listen, but you know.
30 feet. Yeah, they got it too.
That's
Okay.
fine. I don't think they're gonna have to listen to a great deal of things.
Orico, it's your turn. This thing is whooping Costin's ass. What are you gonna do about it? Excellent. Let me mark him.
Why did it roll a 5 and a 1 and then just give you 1?
It's just. No, it's just a 1d6 and it says it rolled a 1.
Oh, there's another die on the table.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay. And what would you like to do from there, Orico? Beautiful. Fire away. That hits. Okay, so that'll be 7 damage. And I believe you have a second attack. You hit him. Roll another Hunter's Mark. You get it for each time you hit him. Oh. So as it's kind of constricting, and you see it starting to like rear back, baring its fangs, ready to dig into Costin, you kind of hit it in the neck with one, get it sort of in its long, coiling body with another arrow, dealing a pretty good number of hits against it. It's got a lot of fight left, but you got a couple of good shots in. Is there anything else you... that's your action, bonus action, and move, so I think that's good. Costin, you are currently grappled. To remind myself of what that means your speed is 0. You can't benefit from any bonus to speed. So yeah, basically your speed is considered 0.
Yep.
You can use your action to try to become ungrappled, or from there you can just start swinging.
If I stay grappled, I take more damage, right?
I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I know I do.
You're gonna go to fuck city if you stay grappled.
Yeah. Alright. Okay. I was gonna do something cool, but I'll just
I mean,
make
you
a
can do
strength
something
save.
cool too.
No, because I don't want to take more damage. It's gonna be bad. Okay, that's not bad. So 12 plus 8 is 20 on the strength save.
You're able to wriggle, release yourself from its hold.
All right, and then I'm going to bonus action second wind and just get a little bit of health back. 6 plus level, so 9 plus 8, 17 health back.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm at a decent amount of health. That was bonus action, and I'm not gonna move. So I will end my turn.
Excellent. Okay. I'll do it in a second. So Torin, he just broke out. This thing is fighting. What are you gonna do? Alright, so that is a 22. That succeeds. 10 damage.
You guys are rolling really well.
I think you have 2 at this
You
level.
have 2 plus your bonus action.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh!
God damn it!
Alright. Uh-oh.
You touch this man's
Two-
son.
2 more attacks. Oh god.
You get 2 more attacks.
You fucked with the
God
wrong
damn it!
Dragonborn's boy!
That's so much damage. All of them except for the
Yeah.
7.
And ahead, can the party get inspiration? Hatter? Fuck yeah, they can. You all got a point of inspiration.
Sweet.
What?
Thank you very
We all
much for
get
the
inspiration.
donation.
Oh, cool.
All right. So Torin, you know, I tried to tell Costin that that was going to happen, but you're the one that took this thing to fuck city. Population pain.
Yeah. it is.
You lay in with this series of quick, furious, and devastating blows, ripping and tearing and shearing through this creature's flesh as dark violets blood like spills out of the wounds, almost sort of coagulating as it with a sickening sort of pat 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 like hits the ground, and you can see like sickly steam rising from it as it roars out in pain from the ferocity of your attacks.
I'm an idiot.
That's your turn, yes?
This whole time, I've had dark vision.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
well.
thing's going to bite at Torin. 20. You're 32 points of piercing damage.
I'll let you have that one.
Gee, thank you. It's going to constrict around you as well. 26.
You're taking all
And
the
that
damage.
gets you for another
33.
33 points. So that will be... Holy
65 damage to Torin.
yes!
Joe's
But
dead.
is he dead?
Yeah, he's so dead.
But... Okay.
I'm taking a reaction.
Okay.
It has ended its turn within 30 feet of me. I'm going to use my new rune that I haven't used yet. It's my stone rune. If it ends its turn within 30 feet of me, it has to roll a wisdom save or be charmed for 1 minute.
It also has to roll a strength save for ending its turn near the storm sphere.
Okay, strength save. Roll the damage and double it.
Sick. 1d6, right? Or
2d6. So I guess technically 4d6.
oh, I'm reading the wrong fucking thing. Okay.
Run a boss, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
It just gets bludgeoned with a huge rock that like flies out of that storm.
Storm's just kicking up dust everywhere, and this rock just like hits it, and its head just, you see like a little bit of it like sort of caves in slightly. It's looking at Costin's abs.
Yeah. Charged for 1 minute.
Just like its tongue starts sort of lolling out. It's just like,
So the charmed creature can't attack me or affect me with harmful abilities or magical effects, and it has what else? Where is it? Where's my character sheet? It can make. Let's see. Start for a minute. It has 0 speed. It's incapacitated. It descends into a dreamy stupor. The creature can repeat the savings throw at the end of each of its turns, which will end the effect.
okay. All right. So with that, Shield, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm going to... I should have been thinking about this, but I was thinking about ways to get people out of constriction if I needed it. Instead. I'll just do a chromatic orb. Fuck it.
Okay. Yeah, that, it is well past bloodied now.
Nice.
Wait a second.
And I'll do, instead
Schmidt,
of...
can you link me the exact description for your ability?
Yeah, hold on.
Instead of my usual lightning damage, it's gonna get hit with...
Hold on.
It's gonna get hit with cold damage, almost as if, like, out of that storm, a small hail storm begins and is, like, specifically targeting it with little, like, golf ball sized frozen bits of ice of cold damage.
Excellent. Roll the attack.
It's in
I did
Discord
it
now.
already.
Okay.
And then, so that was for my chromatic orb, was the ice, the cold damage. And then, I'll do that lightning bolt out of the thing as a bonus action, which was 4d6. Oh wait, I have to do a spell attack first. Does a 13 hit?
Nope, unfortunately.
Okay, the lightning goes wide and strikes over its head.
All right.
But the chromatic orb hit, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's your turn?
Mhm.
All right, Oriko, it is your turn.
I think I'll move a little bit closer, actually. Not much.
All right, beautiful. $22. Yep, you get Hunter's Mark as well.
Nice. 13 damage.
9.
9, unfortunately, the next one just shoots right over. All right, Costin, it is your turn.
All right. So, Costin, seeing that the creature is weakened, and Torin being grappled, and knowing that the effect of the grapple is incredibly powerful and incredibly painful, he's going to attempt to try and end it in one attack. So...
Please tell me he yells Seki Hake Kyokan.
Seki Hake Kyokan! Like that?
Yes.
All
That's
right.
all that I ever wanted.
Sweet. Alright, so... Okay, and then... So in the description of Fire Rune, it doesn't say that I use a bonus action. It just says I invoke the rune.
Let me see. Okay, Fire Rune.
So, in addition, when I hit a creature with an attack, I can invoke the rune. And that's all it says. So I don't know how you want to interpret that.
While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, let me see here. Okay, so you do have a number of runes that equals this, so that works.
Yep.
When you hit a creature, you can invoke the rune to summon it. It takes extra 2d6.
Yep.
Yeah, you just get that.
Okay. So, I'm going to take my Echo Bringer of the Storm and invoke the rune and the effect of the sword at the same time. And attack. Okay. My plus attack is +9, so that's 20.
Roll for damage.
Oh, it's going to be so much damage.
Yes,
All right.
yes it is.
So, 8 plus 6 on the normal attack. It's 14 plus 2d6, which is 6, and 1, which is another 7. And then an additional 2d8 on the Echo Bringer, which is 4 and 5.
So what happens?
Okay, so, me and Torin both not looking good. I used the second wind to kind of stabilize myself, but it hits really hard, and I don't want this fight to drag out. So Costin just he activates the Echo Bringer, and the sword lights up in this blue like sheen of lightning, and at the same time you can see these runes inscribe up along the blade, invoking this fire to burst out at the same time, and he just leaps into it as he flips the blade around and just stabs it down into the center of the beast, and it just explodes with all of this energy. It courses through the body and just sears it and leaves a gaping hole right in the middle.
Fucking badass.
So, the chains lash out, wrapping around it, continuing to burn it. Your blade cutting and searing through with an explosion of blood and viscera, skyrocketing upward as the power of Echo Bringer unleashes this massive thunderclap. And there's a moment of silence as the creature falls lifelessly into just a bloody pile. Where Torin kind of stands up like, oh, fuck, like, feeling a little rough, but you're here.
Drop my storm spear.
You look. There's a couple of moments of silence where, like, birds are starting to, like, fly away. But you can still hear the faint echo of the sword heard for quite some distance. and that dawning realization of how loud that is starts to set in on all of you as you hear from the bushes and the foliage beyond the sound of clamoring footsteps. And with that, we end tonight's session.
Ah!
God dang.
So mean.
I wasn't ready for that.
All right. My friends, as is tradition, please award each other. We're at 300 experience now at this level, yes?
Yeah.
I'm making the call.
Sure.
Please award each other 300 experience. Say who it is and why. And also to our lovely people in the audience, I'm going to start a poll here. You guys get to vote. And the winner of them, the winner of the vote, gets another additional 300 experience. So please, audience members, cast your vote as well. I'm going to do this real quick.
Oh, thank you. Zelos?
Zelos. Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to give mine to Oriko for incredibly clever use of her spell.
That was so good.
That was freaking cool. Absolutely.
I'm making my call simply because I was equally torn between all three of you, and two of you have already got one. So I'm going to give mine to Joe for his excellent interaction with Torin's new wife.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Wife or relative. I wasn't sure if it was it could go either. We don't know yet. We'll have to solve that mystery and look forward to it.
Kaya?
Kaya. Oh. We can't be messy. No.
Hell no.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys all had really solid scenes tonight. I'm really grateful. This was a fantastic session. I'm going to award each of you guys 1,850 experience for tonight's game.
1,850.
And in just a moment, we will see the poll close. Wow, Oriko got some votes, it looks like. You're leading 11-1.
Yeah, you are.
I think we can give that.
Heck yeah.
Thank you so much for the 70 bits there. But yeah, Oriko, so you get another 300. All right, friends. Thank you very much for coming and hanging out here while we play D&D tonight. These guys here, they're amazing players. They are fantastic at what they do, and they inspired me to start streaming. So if you liked what you saw, please drop a follow if this is your first time here. We will be resuming not next weekend, as a couple quick announcements and reminders. I'm going to be doing a streamathon on Monday, which is going to be super cool, a lot of fun. And next Saturday, we're not going to be playing Thicker Than Wine, as I will be in Ensenada, Mexico, and having the time of my fucking life.
Yeah, you are.
It's going to be real good. But
It's gonna be sick.
Divine Beasts will be resuming in, I think, a couple weeks. We were talking about scheduling things, but I think Joe also has something going on too. So it's like I got to figure it out. One way or another, we're going to be playing D&D.
TBA.
Usually, however, if you like this game, this is a bi-weekly game. We also have Thicker Than Wine that runs on the off weekends as well. But sorry.
I was just gonna say, so really there are no off weekends. If you love D&D, just be here on most Saturdays.
Yeah,
exactly. And also, my buddy Schmidt here, who I just give a shout out to. He is also a up-and-coming DM, very new to the game, but is already incredibly skilled and talented. Drop on by his channel, give him a follow, my friends. You won't regret it.
New to that role in the game.
Yeah, in the game.
New to DMing.
Yeah.
Not new to D&D, just to be clear.
No, I've only been playing for like 6 weeks. It's fine.
And I also posted the Discord. If you guys want to hang out, we almost always have an after party where we hang out on the Discord and just kind of
BS.
hang out, BS, unwind a little bit. But
Yep.
thank you again for hanging out, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and play the credits for this, and then we will raid somebody at the end of the stream. I believe in playing the credits. Katie has also posted our playlists because it's 2022. Art theft is bullshit. We need to be better. So I'm going to go ahead and play credits for everything that we have because everything is either free use or something that we own or have permission to use. So
Yep.
If you guys want to say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
All right. And we will go ahead and play the credits, friends. Thank you again for hanging out, friends. I'm going to go ahead and raid one of my buddies here. He's a really cool guy, kind of an up-and-coming just hit affiliate. His name is Duranove, and he's a really cool guy. So let's go ahead and show him a little bit of love. And Rollstream, thank you very much for your follow as well. Apologies if you caught us to the tail end of this, but I hope that